Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright. It's time for the predictions video. Yes, many hours ago, this rust store rotated and we got all of these very nice looking rust skins appearing right in front of us. But in this video, we're going to go ahead and point out the skins that we feel like are potentially the best investments this week. Which of these skins potentially might give us some of those sweet, delicious looking profits. Right, so let's just jump straight in. Let's start talking about this Brutalist sheet metal door. So initially, over the past couple months, we haven't been doing super good in regards to sheet metal doors. So many of them exist, we've got almost 200. There's plenty to pick from, and unfortunately, because of that, many of them have gone down in price pretty badly. It's very unfortunate, it is what it is, but when you see the dramatic drop in player count we had from the summer to the autumn-fall season, hasn't been very good, has it? But this is all routine. We understood this. We understand that with a quite significant chunk of people disappearing from the game, prices were going to go down. What happens when we get to December and January time? Well, they're going to return, and loads of people are going to be very surprised to see that skin in existence. So, yeah, we've got plenty of doors to pick from. Why is this so special? Well, do you remember not too long ago, we did also have the likes of the garage door being accepted, didn't we? Just before Charitable Rust. Yep, we had this garage door. Do you remember what it looks like? Yes, it's got that very noticeable chunk of transparency right there. And if you look at the price of it right now, this sold for $4 in the Rust store, exactly like that sheet metal door. And right now it's selling for a little bit more, isn't it? Today, with the arrival of the sheet metal door, people jumped in and bought this out. I get the feeling people are now anticipating the potential that this is going to turn into a collection. Maybe at some point down the line we'll see the likes of an armoured door with the same amount of transparency. And yes, I will confirm that this sheet metal door right here is glow-in-the-dark and has the same amount of transparency. If anything, maybe a little bit more. So with great thanks to my friend Mr. Micro, if we take a look at this video he produced, you can see that you have transparency around just under head height, but also look at the door handle. Look in the bottom left or bottom right, depending on what side of the door you're looking at. Yeah, plenty of transparency to look through. So imagine this, you're a little bit worried about who potentially might be outside your base. You might have a door camper. Well, with a spray can, you can quickly change your sheet on the door, get a good look around. You might spot someone, quickly change it again, walk away. Stay away from the door. But yeah, very useful. So you can probably understand how a lot of people are going to be wanting this, and when a load of people return to play the game in around December time, they're going to be very surprised to see it and probably want to buy it. Also, we can take into consideration at some point we will see an armoured door being produced and potentially accepted as well. Pay to win, I can't help but say yes. Yes, it is. It's very, very useful. Will we ever see another sheet metal door like this? There actually very likely could be. You see, over the past several months, we've been seeing quite a lot of bombshell doors, haven't we? We've had the garage door, we've had the armoured door, we've had the double armoured door, double sheet metal door. You get the idea. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a see-through mesh glow-in-the-dark bombshell door at some point, potentially in early 2024. Wouldn't surprise me, at least during 2024. So you might sit there and say, wow, we're probably never ever going to see something like this ever again. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually do. Bombshell is definitely something I wouldn't be surprised by. Also, you never know, maybe a future Twitch drop, because if we've got this amount of transparency and a sheet metal door allowed to happen, what's stopping a content creator from getting their own one being made? So again, it's nice, it's cool. I wouldn't be surprised if at least during this post-Christmas momentum, so from now and up to about January 2024 time, yes, you will see this go up in price very nicely. I'm very sure of it. I feel confident in that. And, usually I will sit here and say, look, this skin is abnormal. I'd rather wait it out until Wednesday and I'll do my abnormal barders first and whatnot. Guys, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm not even going to be surprised if we see barders going all the way up to about $4. Like, yes, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest at all. I think this is pretty special. Duck the Skin Creator, you probably know him as also the person who made the likes of the Neon Storage Collection. I feel confident in his abilities. I think he's going to pull it off. I think we're going to see even more doors with the same amount of transparency, but it is up to the likes of Face Punch in regards to whether they want to accept it. But this is clearly selling quite a lot. Already we got 7,000 bare minimum sales. What else is there to say? So, clearly people like it. How far will it go? Wouldn't surprise me if it matches up to the amount of sales that the garage door had, which was 30,000. However, with this going up in price quite comfortably, maybe people notice that and instantly buy a little bit more. Can't rule it out, alright? You can't rule it out. But this right here, for a reasonable amount of time, it's special. and I think people will greatly be appreciating it, especially during the month of December and January when many people return, all right? So let's keep an eye on it. If you want to play it safe, by all means, let's keep an eye on it. Let's see how many sales happen, but I can't imagine anything really causing problems for that. Unless we see maybe like 60,000 sales. We shall see. We'll keep an eye on it, all right? Sounds good? Right, okay. So, let's move on. Next skins I'm confident in is the Thundergold Boots and Gloves. So, boots, not as much as gloves, but I can still anticipate boots and gloves still together working out quite right. So the main point I need to get across to all of you is we were very surprised today to see that the boots and gloves were picked over the tier 2. This was an early pick. This was submitted 1 week before this, but this was picked instead. So we don't know why that happened, but we're still confident. We're still anticipating the potential of that this tier 2 or eventually hoodie and pants will be picked. And, you know, once that's accepted, you will see a spike in demand, spike in price. With the boots and gloves being accepted today, we did see a very, very, very nice spike in demand, spike in price with the tier 3 armor. These both reached up to like $5.50 today, but honestly, when it's like a tier 2 or a hoodie and pants being accepted, it's going to be even stronger. And yes, you will see the likes of these two going up in demand and up in price if we see the likes of tier 2 or tier 2 or hoodie and pants being accepted. That's what we are anticipating. So by default, we do also have to point out that when you look at all the boots, Thundergold is mostly white. It's got a very nice gold trim to it and whatnot, you know. We've got to respect that. Both of these, very nice. The sheen, it's nice. The bottom of the shoe also has a thunderbolt. Like, how, what more can you ask for? But yeah, looks nice. I think a lot of people will be appreciating it. But will people probably just prefer to use the likes of whiteout boots? Because early this year we did get those accepted, and an absurd amount of them were bought. Over 100,000 is the expected amount. Now this went down very cheap. This went down very, very cheap because of that. But I took one look at it today, and I was very surprised to see that it's actually managed to pick itself up a fair bit. This was pushing up to about 90 cents earlier. You got to understand that earlier this year, this was down to about, you're looking at about 50 cents, maybe even less, but it's managed to pick itself up a fair bit. So if this manages to recover as time goes on, I expect that this won't be too much of a problem in regards to these boots here. And with this being accepted and having so many of them being accepted, you've got to understand that effectively killed off the likes of the comics boots and the likes of the high prices that No Mercy and Glory boots had. Because before whiteout boots existed, people were using Glory boots, people were using No Mercy boots, people were using comics boots as a substitute for the whiteout collection. But whiteout collection's getting more and more expensive, and I think a lot of people are now starting to appreciate Thundergold for what it is. A very cool, more unique design that's mostly white. And from here and now, what happens next? Well, hopefully tier 2 gets accepted. I'm fully I'm fully anticipating it, but yeah. Anticipation is that we're going to see this hopefully being accepted soon. Now, that was mostly in regards to boots. Boots, I'm a little less confident in, but that's because of the whole whiteout boot situation. Gloves, however, I feel more confident in. Honestly, again, even though, you know, it's abnormal. So, yeah, I've got to point this out. This is not abnormal. The boots are not abnormal, but the gloves are. And that's going to be very, 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 very useful. So, I wasn't as confident in the boots, but the gloves, I'm definitely going to want to see what the abnormals look like in regards to when we do the abnormal builders, what does support look like afterwards. Because when you look at the likes of the whiteout gloves at the moment, these are now selling for over $6. But if you were to look at it at its best price earlier this year, this was pushing up to $9, I believe. So if we just go look at the sales history, and yeah, this was pushing up to almost $9, both for post-Christmas 2023, so January 2023 time, and in the summertime. Will it go back up to around that price around January 2024 time? Wouldn't be surprised, but if this keeps being very expensive, you could look at the likes of the likes of our Thundergold Roadsign gloves getting quite a lot of appreciation because of that. Now you might sit there and say, comics, surely comics would also. Yeah, I think comics would also, but I think Thundergold, if it does get a full collection being accepted, even better for it. And I think, you know, when you actually look at the likes of these, the gold trim on the gloves and whatnot, hey, I'm pretty sure this will be getting its own appreciation for its design. So, very nicely made skin, and the future is, hopefully, going to lead to more of the Thundergold being accepted. If you truly believe that's going to happen, all the more confidence you should have in these skins, alright? So, if you're somewhat cautious, I am with the boots, you don't have to rush into anything, alright? But if you happen to like any of these skins, you know what I'm going to say, buy it, use it, support the skin creators, keep them motivated to want to keep making more very nice, cool looking creative skins. But if you want to play it smarter, wait it out, especially with skins that are abnormal. We can do abnormal barders first, then we can look to the support afterwards. But I wouldn't be surprised if this pushes all the way up to $2 as well. So this week's abnormals are looking very interesting. All right, so let's keep that all in mind. Okay, so next, every other skin that I'm going to mention from here and now, I'm not that confident in, but I could see some potential with them. So let's now jump into that. So I am kind of seeing the likes of Desert Beast potentially being something that would be worth keeping an eye on, but I'm also somewhat cautious. So you should know Y9J, very successful this year with the likes of his pirate collection. So early this year, he started off with primitive skins, and he got basically a full collection accepted. Very nice, very cool. Well, he's just got Desert Beast, Poncho, and Bandana accepted, and that's very nice. So get a good look at this. Looks very nice. And I think a lot of people would be appreciating this. Well, I had him in my stream earlier, and we were just asking him, hey, what do you plan to do next? And it kind of sounded like he wasn't fully sure. He wasn't fully confident in what he wanted to do next. I'm not ruling out that he's not going to be doing a continuation, but at the moment, he's still thinking about what he's doing next, okay? So just wanted to get that nicely explained. But you got to be prepared that it's very likely going to suffer in the short term. Look at all the bandanas that came out this year. We've had a lot more compared to previous years. That's not too hard to notice. And if you look at all of the ones that came out this year, only Pirate Bandana has held up nicely. But that got a full primitive collection effectively accepted for it, didn't it? So, yeah, this is definitely something you had to be a fair bit cautious about. And then when you look at ponchos, it's even worse. This is $2.49. Look at all of these. Only one of them's doing all right that came out this year. It's the Pirate Poncho. And that's only up by 1%. Look at the skins that came out last year. Only the Raven Poncho's holding up quite all right. Blackout Poncho's just a little bit off. That will be going back up in the positive soon, don't worry. But yeah, I'm sure you can kind of get it into your head that there's definitely more potential problems that could arise. But if he does commit to it, if he does get another primitive collection established, yes, things could work out very nicely for it. But Face Punch is a little bit weird with primitive skins. Earlier this year, we got quite a lot, aka like 2 collections, and then that was it. No more, which is unfortunate. There was many attempts that I've been keeping track of, but yeah, it is what it is. So yes, if we do see continuations, I can see the likes of these working out very nicely. This means you have to wait at least until Monday because you want to keep an eye on the workshop. All right, so it is what it is. But if you hop back over to here, you've got to keep an eye on the workshop. You've got to keep an eye on what's being submitted. And that just happens to be a bunch of Twitch drop submissions there. So, ooh, keep an eye out for that. So, yeah, I'm sure there can be some potential nice things, but you've got to wait and see if it's going to be immediate. Because if it isn't, then awkward. This right here is not abnormal, but this right here is. And like I said, if we don't see anything immediately appearing over the course of this weekend for this collection, I worry for it. But if we do see some stuff eventually, then things should be improving ever so nicely because of that. So, word is, don't rush into it. Wait it out a fair bit. Wait until next week. Look at the sales. Look at what's on the workshop. Then make a decision. And we will do when we do the abnormals next week on Wednesday. So, okay, cool. That's nice. Now, the other skin that I am, like, sort of confident in, it for a very weird reason, is Lowpoly Thompson. You might sit there and say, Hedge, what are you about? You like Lowpoly collection? Not really. But I can imagine this isn't going to sell that much, which in turn could potentially be a very nice reason for it being a pretty good investment in the future. So, if you were to take a look at all of the Lowpoly skins, you can clearly see that the demand isn't really there. Unfortunate, but you can see it. If this happens to not sell that much, if this happens to sell probably, at the very least, less than 10,000 sales, things could actually be somewhat interesting for it. So not too long ago, we had the Pirate Thompson being accepted, but unfortunately, it was one of the lowest selling Thompsons that came out this year. In turn, it's now very comfortably in the positive, and you just wait until January time. It's up by 50% now in November. In 2 months' time, in January, when we have a load of people playing the game, when loads of Christmas money is being spent, you take a look at that. You take a look at that. You tell me what that looks like. Okay, so that's already on cruise control, and it's only got 39 on the Steam market. So one of the lowest selling skins out of all the Thompsons, even though it was part of a well-liked collection. It just happened to come out at an awkward time of the year. Well, look at it now, and future prospects are, I'm looking forward to it. So, look at the likes of this. It's not part of a it doesn't have as much demand as Pirate Collection, we can sit here and say. But if it has very low sales, and, well, if everybody's kind of itching for a for a quick Thompson skin, well, maybe that's what gets picked out. Another thing you could consider is during good times, Thompsons do get bought out quite a lot. And if we look at the lowest price one at the moment, yeah, it's down to $1.16. Very unfortunate. But I want you to take a look at this in 2 months' time in January and tell me what price it sells for then. Because I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a bit of a struggle to find one less than $2. So, yeah. So maybe this is just a case of let's just do a smart buy order. And you know what? Maybe that works out perfectly fine. It's not a super in-your-face, super colourful skin. Understood. But even then, low sales could potentially lead to a potential profit with a smart buy order. So we'll leave that until Wednesday, all right? We'll figure out a decent price to offer for it. And then, yeah, that's how we'll make this work. Cool. So I know this was a bit of a rush, but I was trying my best to be quick. And I know you like efficiency. So if you're a little bit unsure why I didn't mention the likes of Hay Storage, Legion Bow, Armageddon SAR, the AK, I just don't have confidence in them, guys. Like, I'm here to point out the ones I feel more confident in. Hay Storage, I just can't imagine, like, it looks goofy, it looks funny, but, like, maybe only role players are going to appreciate that. But that is abnormal again, so we'll talk more about that on Wednesday, but I just can't see it working out, especially when you look at all of the small box skins that came out this year. What do you see? Oh, God, far too many. Then the Soulless Legion Bow. Unfortunately, we've had quite a lot of bow skins being accepted very recently. This is like the 3rd week in a row. And when you look at all of these, they're not holding up very nicely. Yeah, you might point out Pumpkin Bow. This only just became marketable. Look at that in about a week or two's time. It'll be in the negative. That's the expectation. So, yeah, bow skins aren't doing super hot right now. So, awkward. Armageddon SAR looks cool. I will give it that. But it's... Look at all the SARs that came out this year. And you'll see the exact same thing, yeah. Quite a lot of them not doing super good. And Armageddon SAR, it's very likely going to end up like its AK counterpart, and that's down all the way to close to $1. So that's also unfortunate. And that Suprematism AR, well, look at all the AKs that came out this year, and how many of them are below $1? You have 1, you have 2, you have 3, you have 4, you have 5, 6, you have 7, you have 8, you have 9, you have 10, you have 11, you have 12, you have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 AK-47 skins that came out this year are now less than $1. So, yeah. It's just awkward timing, I'm afraid, Mr. JJ, skin creator. Congratulations on getting your skin accepted, but I can't look at that as a nice, profitable adventure, I'm afraid. So, yeah, that's essentially it. Now, I will say this. I've said it before, but I've got to keep you up to date with all of this. All of these skins that are accepted today, pretty much every single one of them, except one, only recently were submitted. They were all early picks, except the AK. So, what I mean is, all of these skins that you see here, and the Thompson, they literally were submitted by the skin creators just 3 or so days ago. And this is where I have to go over to here and I have to point out, guys, if you want to be always up to date in regards to newest skin submissions, please consider looking at the likes of my Rust Workshop skin checks videos. Yes, I know they're fairly long, but I do add chapters for specifically all the continuations. If you want to stay informed, if you want to be prepared, if you want to make some nice anticipation investments, this is where you could start to learn from some things. Because unfortunately, we just keep seeing a lot of early picks. What did I say, unfortunately? It doesn't really matter, but I do put these collections out, and yes, it's always with the financial perspective. I guess I meant to say, unfortunately, if you're only looking at the likes of the top picks lists, well, we didn't even get one skin accepted from this batch today. I've just refreshed, as you could see, and yeah, none. So, oh, you got one. Okay, yeah, okay, there you go. Got one. All right, well, there you go. Awkward. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date, you've got to put an effort in. You've got to keep an eye on the workshop yourself. You've got to keep an eye and see what potentially could be coming out, because you never know what might be happening. And, well, at the moment, you can see a lot of Twitch drop submissions. Do not forget, In December this year, yeah, so in about 6 weeks' time, we're having another Twitch Rivals event for Rust's 10th anniversary, because it came out back in 2013. And you can see many Twitch drop submissions appearing, and they're all from, all four bigger content creators. I wouldn't be surprised if all of these are going to end up being Twitch drops. And I have to point this out. Look at that, guys. You know the kayak helmet? You know the one with like no mesh? It's just like a face, and from a distance you couldn't tell that person's wearing a face mask. This right here is basically the kayak face mask, except with a green top instead of a bright orange one. That's being given away for free, potentially, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be accepted, because, well, that's like XQC's team, so, yeah, come on, of course it's going to be accepted. So, yeah, keep an eye out, and with a lot of people potentially watching that Twitch Rivals event in December, you're going to probably be seeing a lot of people want to be jumping back into playing Rust. And this year, well, you're going to probably see a lot more people playing, hopefully, fingers crossed. And with that, potentially, skin prices could go even higher. There's a lot of optimism now. So from here and now, all skins, they are expected to start rising. Christmas skins, Christmas-themed skins, I'm talking ones that are snowman, I'm talking ones that are Santa, Christmas, festive, icy, glacial, you name it. They're all expected to peak around December time. Usually it's the beginning of December, but because we have that Twitch Rivals event, I get the feeling they're probably going to peak in the middle of December, especially when we have the Christmas event, the in-game content being released as well. So lots of things are cooking, lots of interesting stuff. I ran out of breath there. Lots of interesting stuff. Keep an eye out for all. As you can tell, I'm probably out of breath now. I think I've said more than enough. Loads of very nice things are happening right now. You could still potentially jump in and make some investments, because even then, prices are still expected to go even higher. January is the point where we should start selling our skins. But for Christmas-themed ones, you want to do that in December. Point made. Best of luck to you on your investments. Enjoy the skins. Keep an eye out for the future, and we'll see what happens over the course of the next few weeks. We have 5 Rust stores in November. The first Rust store in December will be a normal one, and then after that it'll be Christmas, and then New Year's Rust store, and that's it. That's the rest of this year. And yeah, there's not much else to say. So once again, thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed yourself. Enjoy the skins again. I've already said that. So catch you later. See you and goodbye.